According to Toledo police records, nearly 100 homicide cases still remain unsolved going back to 2020, leaving dozens of families still looking for answers even years later. Michael Sandlin joins us from the safety building with more. Michael?
Well, Jeff, when it comes to cold cases, every case is different. But Lieutenant Paul Davis with TPD tells us that at the end of the day, it comes down to a lack of evidence. Now, that's not to say that those cases remain cold forever. In fact, the detectives inside hope to someday close them all out. But in the meantime, there's 89 families here in Toledo still waiting for answers. On the evening of December 10th, 2020, police say a masked man rang the doorbell of Everardo Cheno's home. Cheno answered the door and the man fired 2 shots, killing Cheno right in his open doorway. His case was never solved.
Put a billboard up to, like get answers, tips. I wanted to do to raise money to get put out for a reward.
The morning of October 15th, 2022, bullets tore through the living room window of Travis Glenn and Alexis Quillen's home, killing Glenn right in front of their children. The person who pulled the trigger here wasn't found either.
He was my best friend, and within seconds he was just gone.
These are just a couple of the victims whose killer was never brought to justice. Since January 1st of 2020, TPD says 89 of them remain unsolved, making the families victims too.
Even my kids asked me, if they found the person or not.
But it's not just the families. Lieutenant Paul Davis says TPD's detectives want answers as well.
They obviously want to get justice for that victim, justice for their family, and they put hours and hours and hours into investigating these, and sometimes it's just that one little thing that they need to push them over the edge and get a charge.
Maybe a witness won't come forward, or DNA evidence is lacking. Detectives can't quite solve the case when it first happens. But Davis says the cases are never closed. He says sometimes the hardest ones can only be solved through the process of time.
If there's some type of new technology that can get us some type of maybe new DNA results, or just someone who eventually has the courage to step up and tell us what they know. A lot of the times we know people have information about these homicides, they just don't tell us.
While not confirmed to be a homicide, Davis points to cases like Tammy Lowe, the 18-year-old who disappeared on Collingwood Boulevard in 1987. While her burned-up body was found later that year, there was no way to prove it was her until 2025.
Thanks to newer technology with DNA genealogy, we were actually able to find a relative for her, contact them, and verify who she was and give them some closure.
So to the 89 families out there still waiting for answers, Davis says don't give up hope. And if you might have a tip that could help solve one of these cold cases, you're asked to call the Detective Bureau at 419-205-3132. Or you can call Crime Stoppers and remain anonymous. In downtown Toledo, I'm Michael Sandlin, WTOL 11.